Namaste, guys. Christian R. Long, life enhancement consultant, giving you a big and beautiful shout out on this Sunday morning. It's about 10 o'clock a.m. Mountain Time here in Denver, Colorado. If you remember last week, we were doing the live stream. It was our very first official snow day in Denver. Super cold, super snowy, and now, hey, Rachel, Namaste. And now it's Eric, Namaste, Clara, Namaste. Now it's about 62 degrees, very few clouds in the sky, crystal clear blue sky actually, beautiful sun behind me. I'm in front of my apartment complex here in Denver, Colorado. And I want to jump on. As you guys know, we do these live streams. We were doing them every single day, but I've just taken a break for the past 2 weeks. I've been doing a lot of inner work, and inner work means a lot of meditation, a lot of inner reflection, firm resolution, different Arhatic yoga practices. I've been getting healing from one of the master pranic healers, attending a couple classes online, so it's been full. So I just needed my time to process and digest before I jump on and add value to you guys. Hey Autumn, Namaste, Tirza, Namaste. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So you guys get to go with me for a little walk in my neighborhood. Everyone and their moms walking their dogs. Dogs are super popular here. Manisha, Namaste. So I wanted to talk about anger, which is funny because currently not a lot of anger in my life, but maybe 7-8 years ago, tremendous amount of anger. And I realized how much anger negatively affects you, negatively affects those around you, and negatively affects your personal and professional life. And now that I work with a lot of clients who have different kinds of psychological issues and disorders and things that they're trying to overcome. Hey Rebecca, Namaste. Alice, Namaste. Yuri, Namaste. It's really weird to do this while, hold on guys. I'm trying to make sure I got this. It keeps, there we go. Make sure I include everyone. There we go. Perfect. So I realized how much anger affects us. And I remember one of the master pranic healers was saying a couple months ago that by removing injury, how to say it, by removing non-injury from your system, or removing the lack of loving kindness. The removing of harmfulness. Hey Sarah, Namaste. Removing of harmfulness, one can have a tremendous amount of inner peace, happiness, and joy. Wonder if I could sit right here. It's kind of weird walking and stumbling around. Let me see if I can sit right here. Yeah. Put my coffee down. Hey, Catherine, Namaste. So removing harmlessness from your system allows one to have a tremendous amount of inner peace, happiness, and joy. This is what's a very interesting distinction to make when it comes to healing. We have the assumption in the world of healing, energy healing, meditation, etc., that when we meditate, we're getting the qualities of inner peace, or when we get healing, we're getting the qualities of happiness, of joy, of stillness, things like that. In fact, it's about removing, it's not about adding. So what I mean by that is, if you remove harmlessness, or if you remove harmfulness from your system, if you remove anger from your system, if you remove bitterness and resentment from your system, the byproduct of those energies being removed from your system will actually give you inner peace, happiness, joy, fulfillment, because that is our natural state. So usually when people are finished doing a very powerful meditation, I ask them, well, how do you feel right now? And they go, I feel very calm, I feel very happy, I feel very joyful, I feel very peaceful. And I said, what it is that you're feeling is because all the junk, all the noise has been removed, not been added to. And that's a really profound thing, because we spend our lives going to workshops, going to retreats, traveling around trying to obtain things that we believe will bring us greater inner peace, happiness, and joy, when in fact, it's the removing of those things that are in the way of our natural state. Hey, Catherine, Atma Namaste. Does that make sense? So by removing those qualities, our natural state is bliss. Our natural state is inner peace. Our natural state is happiness and joy. And I think that's a really valuable lesson. So something that you can try when you're angry, and anger is very interesting because it comes in many different forms for many different reasons. But at one of its core is the reason we get angry is because we have unrealistic expectations that a situation is either going to stay the exact same, or we have unrealistic expectations that the situation will never change. Hey, Ashley, Atma Namaste. So Autumn says, hashtag decluttering. I like that. Yeah, decluttering is a great way of looking at it. As you remove all the junk and the gunk from your system, your natural state is peace, bliss, and joy. So if you have unrealistic, hey Jane, Atma Namaste, Priti, Atma Namaste, if you have unrealistic expectations on how somebody is supposed to show up in your life, that's going to create disappointment. That's going to create frustration. That's going to create anger. That's going to create hurt feelings. But if you change your expectations, then you will not have as much suffering going on in your life. Does that make sense? If you change your expectations. So we expect our partner to show up this way, and if our partner does not show up in this way, we get angry. Claire says, you're so freaking smart, Christian Long. No, just lots and lots of trial and error, lots of life experience, and all credit to Master Choa for teaching me right from wrong as a young lad. So when we have unrealistic expectations that leads to suffering, let's say it's about work. We have an unrealistic expectation that we should be paid X amount, and we're not getting paid that amount. But then if we think about it and we change our expectation and go, well, wait a minute, what if I did more service? What if I got more educated? What if I did more work after hours or worked on the weekends? Would that increase the likelihood of me being compensated more for my work? Hey, Lily, Atma Namaste, right? But we don't really do that. We have an unrealistic expectation that we're making X amount per hour and we should be making double that, but we're not willing to get more educated, better training, talking to the right people, finding a different job, changing occupations altogether, starting our own business, etc., etc., etc. And ridiculously humble. So I notice in my own life, the lives of my clients and those close to me, that when we get angry, it's because we have an unrealistic expectation about something. When you change your expectation, you alleviate your suffering, which is super, super important. And as I understand it, expectations are in the heart chakra. In the heart chakra. So there are certain pranic healing protocols to remove these expectations that we have in the heart. Because at its core, the heart serves and gives unconditionally to others. So whenever you give to someone and you have an expectation, whenever you give to someone and you have something attached to it, you are going to experience suffering. Meaning, I love this person and they're not loving me back. Hey Jack, Atma Namaste. I gave money to this person and they didn't give money back to me. Hey Laura, Atma Namaste. What else? I invested all my time, money, and energy into this business and it never became successful, right? So we have these expectations that may be unrealistic. We have these expectations that may be unrealistic. They're unfulfilled, and then we have suffering. But the heart gives a good, clean, powerful, open, activated heart chakra gives with no attachment. It loves because that is the nature of the heart. It's to love. But if you love to get something back, if you love to manipulate, if you love to take advantage of somebody, you're going to have a very difficult life, and the people around you are going to have a very difficult life when they're with you. Philo, Atma Namaste. Salvatore, Atma Namaste. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Is this making sense? Are you guys having some aha moments that could potentially alleviate your anger, your frustration, your sadness, your suffering in some area of your life? And again, the principle of unrealistic expectations lead to suffering is in all areas. Let's say it's in your health. So let's say you're 20 pounds overweight. You're not feeling very sexy. You're not feeling very happy. You're not feeling very loved in your life. You're not having a lot of a good relationship with your physical body. And you go, you know what? I've had enough of this. I'm going to change everything. And you know what? I'm going to lose this 20 pounds over the next month. You go from not working out at all, not sleeping well at all, and not having good nutritional program at all, to within 1 month you're going to lose 20 pounds, feel lighter, feel healthier, feel sexier than you ever have before. Guess what? Your expectations are unrealistic. Your expectations are too high. At the end of the 30 days, you realize you've only lost 1 pound, you feel miserable, and you've been starving yourself the whole time, right? So you have an unrealistic expectation on what it's going to take in order to move your life forward in the realm of health. So health, relationships, finances, career, spiritual practice. I get this one a lot from people who start on the spiritual path. They go, I've been meditating every day for the past week and I still get angry. I still get upset. I don't have inner peace throughout the day. And I'm like, you realize you've only been doing this for a week, right? So again, it's unrealistic expectations lead to suffering, lead to anger, lead to frustration, lead to being let down, lead to being disappointed, lead to being unfulfilled. So we have to practice realistic, hey Becca, Atma Namaste. We have to practice realistic expectations. Realistic expectations. You go, Christian, well, how do I know what are unrealistic and realistic expectations? Well, you're going to have to sit down and figure that out. You're going to have to say, well, wait a minute. I'm in an unfulfilling relationship. I've been in this unfulfilling relationship for 2 years, and I have an expectation that this person is going to change into X, Y, and Z kind of person, and they're going to show me love the way I want them to show me love. Now, if you've gone to therapy, you've done inner work, the other person's done inner work, and there's still no resolution, then it might be time to separate from that relationship. It might be time to move on because your expectations are unrealistic that that person is going to change, or your willingness to change is not there. But if you haven't done any of those things, then guess what? Then see a therapist, get energy healing, look at your own life and go, how am I showing up with this partner? What seeds have I planted in previous relationships? And on and on and on. You're using your mental faculties, the throat chakra and the Ajna chakra, to understand the situation, to see it clearly and go, well, are my expectations realistic? Like, for instance, let's say you have an expectation in your relationships that there's no physical abuse. Adriana, Atma Namaste, meaning I'm in a relationship with someone and my expectation is that they do not physically abuse me. And then the person that you're with for the past 6 months has been physically abusive to you. Well, is it realistic to think that that person is going to change overnight? No. So you have an unrealistic expectation that that person is going to stop being physically abusive to you. So you need to end the relationship, right? For your own physical and emotional sanity and safety. But again, going back to the original topic of today's stream, because we talk about energy healing, meditation, and practical spirituality, it's looking at your life and going, well, my life has suffering in it. I don't like this suffering. What can I do to improve the quality of my life? and you're like, I probably need to change my expectations in some way, shape, or form. Now, it's kind of interesting that there's certain people that are suffering because of unrealistic expectations, and what they do is increase their expectations. They go, the partner that I have this expectations with my partner's not fulfilling these expectations, I'm going to leave the relationship and I'm going to increase my expectations because I only deserve the best. Amor, namaste. Okay, that's fair, but are you willing to match the same energy of your expectations? So what do I mean by that? There's an old saying in the social dynamics and dating that if you want to attract a queen, you have to be a king. And if you want to attract a king, you have to be a queen. So you will attract to you not what you want. Keep this in mind, guys. You do not attract to you what you want. You attract to you what you are. Does that make sense? Because everybody wants this and that. Everyone wants the best things in life. Everyone wants to have a super healthy, fit, sexy body. Everyone wants to have millions of dollars in the bank. Everyone wants to be married to a supermodel or a billionaire alpha, or everyone wants to be the best of the best in their field. They want to be the top of the top. They want to be. We all want the best that life has to offer. But deep down inside of us, we have fear, doubt, anger, uncertainty, lack of clarity, laziness, all of these things that is deep within us. So we will only attract the energies that vibrate on the same level as us. So if you want to attract a great partner, you have to be a great person. If you want to attract prosperity, abundance, and success, you have to vibrate at the level of prosperity, abundance, and success. If you want to attract good health, vitality, and well-being, you have to vibrate at those levels of energy. You can't want it, you have to be it. And so Lars says you attract what you think of. Correct. Autumn says, on the other side of unrealistic expectations is unconditional acceptance or unconditional love. This is a very, very important distinction that Autumn is making that I had to learn over the past year with this. I think it's fascinating. We could talk about this topic for hours or hours or hours. That people make this assumption that if they have unconditional love, that the person that they're with can walk all over them. Right? Like if I'm unconditionally loving to my partner, they're going to take advantage of me, they're going to walk all over me. It took me a while to figure this out, and I'm still actually getting deeper understanding and clarity around it. But you can deeply love someone unconditionally while still having boundaries. Does that make sense? You can still love somebody, because what does it mean to love? Love means to provide. Love means to nurture. Love means to protect, right? So it's an action, by the way. An action in thought, words, and actions, like behaviors. So just because you're willing to give the shirt off of your back to your friend, a family member, a partner out of love, it doesn't mean you're allowing them to take advantage of you. It doesn't mean you're allowing them to walk all over you like a doormat, right? Lars says, you are a philosopher. Manisha says, very true. Frequency of higher emotions first has to be created. Exactly. So I want you guys to recognize, Rashmi, Atma Namaste, good to have you on. So I want you to recognize that if you deeply love somebody without expectations, you will have less suffering in your life. Meaning, I'm going to love you, and whether you love me back is great or fine. It doesn't matter to me. Here's the shirt off of my back. Whether you pay me back that shirt or not is fine. Because the debt, quote unquote, the debt is to God. Because everything is an offering to God. Everything is a sacrifice to God. And whatever it is that you give, you receive. So we have this assumption that if you deeply love someone, that love that you give that person is going to come back from that person. And that's not necessarily how it works. I know in the physical plane, if you plant corn in this garden, the corn is going to come up in this garden. But it doesn't always mean in the inner world, if you plant corn here, the corn is going to come up here. It can come up in different areas. So I hope this is making sense. But when you truly love unconditionally, the heart is super activated, super energized, and it's unconditional. It doesn't matter how the other person shows up. Now, where does boundaries come in? Boundaries come in of, I love this other person, but they're physically abusive to me. Boundary. I love this other person, but they're verbally abusive to me. Boundary. Meaning, this is not acceptable. I do not tolerate you treating me like this. And we either have to change this dynamic because it's unhealthy, or we end the relationship. But you don't make the other person wrong. You don't make the other person feel guilty or shameful. And you don't use it as a weapon to manipulate that person. Does that make sense? Claire says, I love you, but that is no concern of yours. So Autumn says, so glad you clarified on that. Perfect. Rashmi says, but in relationship, there are some expectations. Not in the sense of love, but in the sense of boundaries. So let's say you have a monogamous relationship with your partner, meaning you and your partner only sleep and only connect with each other, and you don't sleep and connect with other people. That's quote unquote an expectation, but that's also a boundary. So you can still deeply love that person, and that person could cheat on you, and you can still deeply love that person, but you say that boundary, hey Jeanette, namaste, you say, but that boundary that you crossed breaks our trust, and that's not acceptable for me, and you end the relationship. But you can still love that person. You just love them from afar. You can still bless them in your meditations. You can still wish them to have the best life possible, etc. And when we have the expectations that things will never change, or we have the expectations that things will always remain the same, we have suffering. So if somebody cheats on you, you go, well, I had the expectation that my partner would never cheat on me. Well, law of cycles, law of change, people are always changing, life is dynamic, nothing lasts forever because the nature of the law of cycle and law of change. It is what it is. And you forgive that person, and you move on with your life. Yvonne, namaste, long time. Does that make sense? So, again, going back to the original point of today's video, or of the topic, my battery's about to die, so if I lose you, my apologies, is if you have anger, you have unrealistic expectations. If you have frustration, you have unrealistic expectations. If you have sadness, grief, sorrow, bitterness, you have unrealistic expectations about the situation, and you need to become clearer on where it is that you want to go with your life. And you have to change your expectations. Laura says forgiveness. Absolutely. Forgiveness is super, super, super important, because forgiveness will help you learn the lesson. Forgiveness will help you move on, and forgiveness will give you a more accurate viewpoint of the situation. You will see things as they are rather than how you think they should be. Remember, that's an expectation. You should show up this way. You should treat me like this. You should be like that. And guess what? When those people don't show up like that, you're like, life is so unfair. Why do people treat me like this? Blah, blah, blah. Unrealistic expectations. Be a great person. Be a good person. Be a kind person. Being a loving person, and then all will work out. Forgiveness is therapeutic, as Master Cho Kuk Sui would say. Exactly. So, if you guys have any questions or comments in this, please put it in the section below. I will respond to them, because my phone's about 5% right now. It's going to die, and and then I have to prepare for a healing with a client distantly as well. But speaking of, if you are in need of healing, feel free to reach out to me at christianrlong.com. christianrlong.com/services, christianrlong.com/services. And every session is an hour long. It's distant. The first 30 minutes is coaching or getting understanding on your situation. And then the next 30 minutes or the final 30 minutes is doing the pranic healing protocol specific to you. And a one-on-one 1 hour session with me is $225. And when people do 7 sessions or more with me, they get a 15% discount. And most of my clients have been with me for months, if not years. You're very, very welcome, Rashmi. My pleasure. I hope this helps. Again, all the information I'm sharing with you guys is not coming from me. It's coming from my teacher, Grandmaster Choa Koksui, who taught me over the past 14 years on how to become a better person through his books, his CDs, his classes, his senior instructors, and him personally. And it never gets boring. It never gets boring. There's always another layer to remove. There's always deeper insights to have into your own life, into the lives of other people, into the lives of countries and cultures. It's quite fascinating. It's very beautiful. I feel very, very honored to do the work that I do. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining today. Thank you for sharing your energy with me. Lots of light, love, and power from God and my teacher, Grandmaster Choa Koksui, into your lives. I hope this is a phenomenal day for you, a phenomenal week for you. And if you're in need of healing, reach out to me directly. Manisha, you are very, very welcome. So that's it, guys. Battery's about to die. This is Christian R. Long, Life Enhancement Consultant, wishing you a beautiful day, a beautiful week, and a beautiful life. Atma, namaste. Bye-bye.